Welcome to our podcast. My name is Mushtaq Memon, Professor Emeritus at Washington State University and Vice President of Livestock at We Empower. I am delighted to introduce my colleague, Noubia Gribi-Hussain, President and CEO of We Empower. Noubia and I have collaborated on numerous international development projects, and today we would like to share highlights from our 2018 visit to Bamako, Mali. Nubia, I remember when you stopped at the roadside mango market in Bamako where Malian women were selling their mangoes. You spent quite a bit of time engaging with them. Later, at the Siagri International Agriculture Fair in Bamako, while I was focused on visiting livestock herders and their cattle, I recall you dedicated your attention to the mango entrepreneurs. What stood out to you most?
Hello, Mushtaq. It's a pleasure to join you. Thank you for having me as usual. Honestly, it was such an inspiring experience. The fair was full of small business owners at that time who are the backbone of agriculture in Mali. And many of them work directly with farmers from the outskirts of Bamako and from the region further out, actually, like Sigu and Mopti. You could really feel the energy and innovation in the air. One of the things that really struck me in Mali, it was the sheer abundance of mangoes being sold by young vendors. The quality was exceptional. I can almost taste it now as I speak. The taste was unlike anything I had experienced before, truly unique. And yet, despite this large production, they were being sold at extremely low prices. I'm sure you remember that.
Yes, I remember very well, Nubia. That sounds amazing. Was there a particular story that stayed with you?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Among all the businesses I visited during the Siagri International Fair, Agriculture Fair, I met one in particular that really touched me. It was a mango company called Ustako SARL, Les Mangues du Mali. The company is predominantly owned and run by women, I recall, and they've built something really remarkable.
That is amazing. Tell us more about that.
Well, first of all, Mali's mango are just incredible. You tasted them, we love them. They are sweet, fragrant, with a taste that's very unique to the region, really unique. You see vendors everywhere selling them, sometimes at a very low price because production is so high. But what Ustaco has done is take that abundance in turn and turn it into a real opportunity. About them a little bit, they employed, I recall, 29 women along with a few men. And together they process mango into a whole range of products: dried mango slice, juices, jams, and other processed goods, mainly for export. And the export was mainly also to the EU. Not only were they reducing food losses, but they were also creating jobs, especially for women, and contributing to food security and local economic growth.
So, really, it is not just about the fruit, it is about transformation, isn't it?
Exactly. It's about more than just mangoes. This is about women stepping into leadership in agribusiness, creating jobs, and showing how value chains can really flourish when local entrepreneurs is supported. For me, Ustaku is a success story that represents the future of agriculture in Mali, diverse, inclusive, and rooted in local talent.
That is such a powerful story, Nubia.
Yes, it is. Also, as a reminder that when you invest in women entrepreneurs and small businesses, you're not only strengthening food security, you are building more resilient communities. And in Mali, with its rich agricultural potential, that can make all the difference. So now the challenge was that many of the mangoes in the market were overripe. Without proper storage or processing infrastructure, a lot of fruit was at risk of going to waste. This is where the issue of value addition becomes critical. It's not only about mangoes, It's all the fresh fruits and vegetables. If you don't have a proper infrastructure and cold chain, then you have a critical and big problem on your hands.
So in a way, it is not just about mangoes, but about bigger picture, agriculture, food systems, and livelihoods.
You nailed it. It illustrates a broader truth for many developing countries. Without investment in processing, storage, and market access, we risk losing much of the value of agricultural production. But with the right support, we can turn surplus into opportunity, empower women and youth, and strengthen both food security but also food safety.
That sounds incredible, Nubia. Did you see any opportunities to help them grow even better further?
You know me. Yes, of course. I offered few practical tips on their packaging. We had a meeting that lasted at least about 45 minutes, and I saw all these women coming around from other booths. The goal was twofold on this practical discussion on packaging. Make the product more visual, appealing to consumers, which I always called seducing the consumer, and ensure they fully comply with EU food safety and packaging standards as well. Since the company exports all of its production, it is essential for reaching international markets.
I understand, Nubia. In fact, we spent time together also in Lebanon, and you are a champion of packaging standards and display of the products in the stores. I remember very well. But without going to Nepal, let us keep on talking about, these changes in Mali. So a small change in packaging could have a big impact, isn't it?
Absolutely, exactly. Simple improvements in labeling, design, and safety compliance can open doors to a larger market and increase revenue. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about sustainability, competitiveness, and giving these women the recognition they deserve for their hard work.
So beyond the business side, what does this mean for the community?
It's a huge. By strengthening a women-led enterprise, you're not improving livelihoods for the women and directly involved. You are supporting local farmers who supply the mangoes, creating a ripple effect across the region. Plus, it shows young people that agriculture can be innovative, profitable, and empowering, bridging food security, economic growth, and gender equality. So it's big.
It sounds like a perfect example of how local entrepreneurship and development intersect.
Absolutely. And what excites me most is seeing these small but meaningful changes like better packaging, helping these women reach new market, expand their impact, and ultimately contribute to a stronger, more resilient food system in Mali.
There you go. I know how passionate you are about women's and youth economic empowerment. Would you like to share more about your experiences in our next podcast episode?
Mushtaq, it's not just me. Your contribution has been just as important. You have led so many capacity building programs and training across developing countries. And of course, you work as an educator and professor in several US universities had made you a huge impact as well. So, going back to your question, yes, I would love to do that in our next podcast.
Thank you, Nubia, for your thoughtful comments and compliments. So until next time, stay well, stay curious, and thank you again for being with us.